after seeing some dimensions of religion among the tribes, like animism, animatism, fetishism, naturism, as well as um, totemism, we have now a big topic, which is related to the lifestyle of religious, practices among the simple societies. And mostly the names that you are seeing here, like priest, shaman, medicine man, sorcerer, and witch, these are all the magico-religious functionaries or magico-religious practitioners. They are also called as practitioners because in the day-to-day life, many many a soul gets stuck in dilemmas, then apprehensions, fears, and complete like dreadful situations. And especially in tribes, these people are in constant fear. They live in constant fear. They fear the black magic and witchcraft of the opposite tribes, or certain times conflicting or feuding tribes. So for them, getting out of this black magic, the wave of black magic, they need the support of some practitioners. Some of them also resort to some right to in fact they intend to harm the others through black magic. So they approach the practitioners like magicians to bring them that forward and inflict harm on the others. So in this regard, anthropologists have got deeper interest. They developed right from Tyler's time. Tyler, Fraser, Morgan, and many people have studied the magico-religious practices, and also while doing so, they have come across these magico-religious functionaries, right? That are seen in your syllabus. So, what are these people? They do what they do. They bring about, as I told you, relief to people. They bring succor to their drained lives, and ultimately they offer solace and happiness and some kind of freedom from fear. Sometimes it is, many a times it is temporary, and sometimes it is permanent. So we'll start with what exactly is a priest. Priest is basically found among peasant societies. Even of course in the simple societies like the hunter gatherers, they all exist, but like they will end up in the form of shamans. So priest is usually found, as I told you, in developed societies, slightly um, evolved societies compared to the bands. So we see them in tribes as well as, right. These priests are seen in the tribes as well as certain peasant societies. And these societies, basically the mainstay of economic organization is horticulture and agriculture. Sometimes even shifting cultivation as well, where they'll take the help of these practitioners like the priests, and they try to appeal to the supernatural, appease, then pray, and we have seen certain words like placate, and finally they also submit completely. It's not that they can do any, like they don't have much in their hands. They can only bow down in reverence and respect, appeal, and of course I have written like here, bow down and pray for the benevolence of the gods. Usually they deal with gods. What are the supernatural like beings here? Gods, and rarely ancestral spirits, ancestors. Though they are not like given the name of spiritual, like they come out of that spiritual domain and enter into the domain of idols and fetishes, totems. So they end up right the taking help of the priests. Usually, the clan elders and some senior people act as priests as well. They perform the religious activities to provide relief from the pain and anxiety and fear which these people suffer in their day-to-day lives. And many of these times, these priests act as a link between the gods and the people. So naturally, they act as a links between gods and common people, or you can say in more flowery words, they act as a link between same thing, link between this world and that world. This world, matlab the mundane world, the mundane, the ordinary world. Mundane means ordinary world. That is a natural world and the supernatural world. The sacred, supernatural, extraordinary domain which is not fathomable to ordinary mortals. Only you have to be a priest who will understand the nuances of these sacred things and practices. And good crops अच्छा के लिए सोचते हैं अच्छा अच्छे काम करते हैं ओपन काम करते हैं and most of their activities are in then open activities. They do open activities, no closed activities or secret activities. Everything is open, and they enter into some kind of monasteries, and it's like a एक धरोहर जैसा होता है एक some परंपरा होती है based on a tradition, and it's like coming down generations. These people get the blessings of their elders, and they get special training, and they have to join the training very early in their lives. As children, they have to start learning this language, and later start giving back to the society. Mostly that's the reason priests always stand at that, and they stand at the top of the hierarchy. So we all noted, right? Especially as far as the varna system is concerned, we all noted in the Indian society or Hindu society, where they have got the positions of the top of positions like of the Brahmin priests. Usually the Brahmins occupied this. We all are aware of that. Okay, and coming to the next one, in comparison, shaman is that the kind of a religious functionary. उसको बोलते हैं इसीलिए मैजिको रिलीजियस बोलते हैं. Every time the priest is not completely like uh, doing all the open activities. Certain times, this man in simple societies doubles as. In fact, दो role play करता है. The important magico-religious functionary in a hunting and gathering society like Eskimo, Siberians, some Ainos. So people who live in hunting gathering kind of a lifestyle, deserts. So these people, shamans, are somewhat like again they come into the positive side of right the life. They are not they do not do anything negative. In fact, they help the people to pray in their to do their prayers, or sometimes want certain things to be done. And the shamans, the word is shaman is of a Siberian nature. Shamanism, shaman, वो क्या है? वो Siberian in origin. This Siberian kind of a person or a practice does very strange things also, very often. He suddenly goes into a trance, ऐसा ऐसा झुकने लगता है, हिलने लगता है, like he does some kind of somersaults. He rolls down in on the ground, पूरा वो ऐसा करता है, कुल्हाड़ी मारता है, and he does sometimes takes out the froth from the mouth. इसीलिए ये सब करने के लिए this fellow takes up kind of some what you call this the certain herbs, certain what you बोलते हैं psychotropic substances like marijuana. थोड़ा ये भी करता है, नशा करता है. They call it as ganja वगैरह. Okay, and he takes into these hallucinating substances, goes into trances. Suddenly trance में चला जाता है कहीं, और he goes into some a different domain. Suddenly he flies into the sky and he talks to the eagles and comes back. मतलब आदमी इधर ही रहता है, लेकिन the people around believe that this man has extraordinary powers. He can fly in the air, he can go to the heavens, he can meet the eagles, talk to them, talk to the clouds, and ask them to bring rain. And he has also some visions. where he can see very clearly certain things, certain animals lost, or certain fishing shoals which ordinary hunters and gatherers cannot fathom, cannot locate. But this fellow says, go that there is on the north side of the lake. You have some kind of a bush. वहाँ पे जाके ट्राई करो, फिश मिल जाएंगे तुमको. Okay, some kind of very visionary kind of क्या बोलते हैं ना fortunes he comes up with. And many times he eats the food of almost 2 to 3 people. बहुत खाता है. And he also does all these kinds of strange things. He suddenly goes into twists. Sometimes उसको क्या बोलते हैं ना, fits आ जाते, fits convulsions. पूरा ऐसा नीचे ग्राउंड पे आके ऐसा ऐसा मारते रहता, like something. People हमारे सोसाइटी में देखते हैं, people how they suffer with fits and convulsions. So this fellow also goes into convulsions, but he's not doing, like he's not any patient, but he's doing it wantonly such that people believe in him and his abilities to protect them and show them some forward paths. So ये है हमारा shaman. So I have given all this knowledge in your handouts also. Further also I'll give some more material, some more notes. Of a positive change agent in the society. He comes up with some solutions wherein the people approach him or her. Usually in some societies in Africa there are also medicine women, but mostly medicine man hota hai. He is also like on the positive side, like a priest or a shaman. He is somewhat somewhere between priest and a shaman. So priest is like mostly present in peasant societies and bigger tribes. Medicine man thoda niche, matlab the tribes which are having lesser populations, and shaman completely like in the bands and very rarely in the lower level of tribes. But medicine man, as the name suggests, offers many solutions to the problems of the people, especially health problems, through giving some potions, POTIONS, amulets, some stones. मतलब अजीब व गरीब चीजें लेके जाता है अपने. He always has some potions. स्पेलिंग ठीक से लिखना, POTIONS. पोशंस मीन्स सम लिक्विड्स. ओ अच्छा, मतलब ब्राइट कलर्स में रहते हैं, येलो, रेड या ब्लू. सम लिक्विड्स which have the potential to cure illnesses. To cure illnesses. So this fellow distributes them. He may charge, he may not charge based on the condition. He also gives some talismans or amulets to people who visit him, some kind of herbs and sometimes condiments, or certain times और कुछ भी चीजें करते रहता है, some kind of fetishes. These are all of course some positive fetishes, and through them he provides a relief to the people coming in search of his services, right? So this medicine man is also a positive kind of a magico-religious functionary. So first three you always write in the positive side, and the last two, that is a sorcerer and witch, they come under the negative side of the coin. ठीक है, ये आप लिख लीजिए जल्दी से. सो क्या क्या इसके पास रहते हैं एंड हाउ ही क्यूर्स. एंड ऑफ कोर्स इन मेनी ऑल दिस, सुबह भी बात किया हम लोग. देयर इज अ, अच्छा, नॉट इन द मॉर्निंग, या entire in the entirety he is practicing ethnomedicine, the kind of traditional medicine which people believe, correct? He gives certain even leaves or some herbal medicines, वो सब देता है उसको, आइजर चूर्ण बनाता है, like ayurveda kind of things. आप कभी देखते होंगे इन मेनी ऑफ आवर टाउन्स एंड सिटीज ऑल्सो, एक छोटा सा टेंट डाल के कुछ लोग बैठेले रहते हैं, एंड दे हैव ऑल इंटरेस्टिंग, लाइक आई एम गेटिंग लाफ्टर हियर. ये बहुत मजेदार लगता है मेरे को, फनी लगता है. And these people sit and in a small tent, a makeshift thoda, the way where the people will not disturb much, and the people gather around him. वो बेचते रहता है, तावीज महिमा और ये करता है. आपका कुछ प्रॉब्लम है रिप्रोडक्शन में, हाँ, you're not able to become father, quick quack doctor की तरह काम करते हैं. मतलब these are not that kind of quack doctors with a permanent shop. एक छोटा सा टेंट डालता है बस टेम्पररी वाला. एंड ही ऑल हैज दिस ग्लासेस. एक ग्लास में कुछ ये हर्ब्स रहता. इन तेलुगु वी कॉल मूलिकలు. हर्ब्स एंड ग्रासेस एंड छोटे छोटे रूट्स रहते हैं. ये रूट का ले लो, ये रूट का जो चूर्ण करके पियो 7 दिन सुबह नाइट मिल्क के साथ करो. वन मंथ में तुम अच्छा गुड न्यूज पाओगे. योर वाइफ विल बिकम प्रेग्नेंट. Especially males who want to increase their potency and right get the get into fatherhood, these kind of people approach them. और कहीं और बीमारी है, तेरे को ये बीमारी है, दर्द का बीमारी है, वो करते हैं, सब निकल जाता है. आप देखते हैं ना, मजेदार बातें करते रहते हो. So these people something like interestingly they hit on the especially the labor class and the uneducated people who mostly believe in this. So even in tribes, not only outside India but also in tribal India, many of these medicine men carry with them these kinds of items in their bags, in their makeshift shacks, or sometimes even in their houses. If this fellow is not a permanent one, temporarily he'll give some medicines, etc. He's not a full-time medicine man. Part-time medicine man भी होता है. Even shaman is also, in some books it is written as he is a part-time medical practitioner. So something like a religious practitioner. He is not a full-time man. Shaman भी ऐसे आदमी है. This shaman regularly like goes along with these hunting expeditions. He is also an ordinary man only. But suddenly उसको ये visions आते रहते हैं, नीचे गिर जाता है. He starts doing these convulsions. He eats a food of 10 people. He takes his eyes out. ये पूरे अजीबो गरीब किस्सा करता है. And when he is into normal things, he is a normal man. Medicine man is also somewhat like slightly more occupied, because his job is to cure the diseases also, not just show some fishing shoals or some missing animals, or where the game animals are available. ऐसा नहीं है उसका job. Almost like more or less 50 to 75% is occupied. So usually temporary medicine men are less available, but usually they have full-time job. Priests are also more or less full-time practitioners. ये तीनों एक चीज एक साइड में लिखना आप लोग, positive side of life. So witchcraft and sorcery, these are like important ones here. Whereas witchcraft is practiced by, I'm telling you in this rough idea, you can just note them down. Witchcraft is practiced by a person, whether male or female. Usually both witches are, some चुड़ैल बोलते हैं हिंदी में. So usually they call it as a female, but sometimes male witches are also there. And sorcerers, like इन दोनों का बहुत clear differences है. Witch, WITCH, completely clear लिखना है आपको, WITCH. A witch, just by a wish, if he or she thinks that इसका घर बर्बाद हो जाए तो बर्बाद हो जाता है. So their wish is enough. उतना बड़ा वो लोग तांत्रिक विद्या सीख के आते हैं. आप लोग शायद भूल भुलैया 2 देखें. How many people saw here? Just tell me whether you saw Bhul Bhulaiya. I have recently seen that part 2. Part 1 is Rajnikant's movie है, वो मलयालम से next तमिल से बनाए गए हैं. That is different. Bhul Bhulaiya 2, in this, our Tantric Baba comes and sees these our Tabu. Tabu is seen acting as a witch. She is a demon and she is a witch every day, right from the childhood. She always goes and does the Kshudra Puja. Night में जाके शमशान घाट में बैठती है. Or she does all the pujas with क्या बोलते हैं ना, with skulls and bones and all that paraphernalia. So she gets the powers of a witch, and whatever she wishes, they will happen. Perhaps witch has come from the idea wish. I don't know. I have to go and see the origin of that. Perhaps these English fellows usually have this habit of coining the names based on the the origin also, the roots. शायद हो सकता है कि विश is has this witch. The person who does this practice, that practice is called witchcraft. ठीक है? And sorcerers अच्छा, witches, they don't need anything. बहुत ध्यान से सुनो. You won't find any material etc unless you catch that fellow in the shamshan ghat in the deep night. But lekin usually that fellow is very clean. You don't even see a nimbu or haldi kumkum kuch or this thing do in his house or anywhere. Maybe he goes into some kind of a alone place, some secluded place, haunted place, and does that. Lekin sorcerers, sorcerers practice sorcery, which is a what you call a negative performance. It does something like a black magic. It is nothing but a kind of a black magic. Okay, and that has a potential to harm the others. So to befall some harm to certain person, उसको मतलब बर्बाद करना है और कुछ harm करना है उसको, that fellow has to really perform. He has to do elaborate drawings. वो सब skull उधर रखना है, कापालिका आबालिका आवाहयाम, ये करता है. He'll throw all that white वाला, red वाला, क्या क्या की color फेंकते रहता है, and he does all this tantric mantric activities. And then sometimes a girl is drawn into the एक बड़ा सा रंगोली जैसा होता है, and many times they were all बलि चढ़ाते हो लड़की का या लड़के का. All these movies show us, right? So what exactly is this? They want others to be completely destroyed. They will poke needles in the effigies. छोटा सा एक ऐसा एक बनाता है तो बॉल, sorry, doll एक बनाते हैं, maybe of cloth or something, and they'll prick needles in their body such that the other person, the person who represents this doll, gets harmed. Okay, so that person writes in pain. He just rolls down on the floor. इतना बड़ा pain होता है, like he's going crazy, and he says, "I'm going to die. Someone is doing magic, black magic मेरे के ऊपर ये कर रहा है, काला जादू कर रहा है, को उसको पकड़ो, मारो उसको." ये करे तो लोग, they'll be going on. These crazy people are in tribes. This is the biggest problem, the negative side of life. Seeing from the civilized world, this is a negative thing. But from anthropological viewpoint, everything is hunky dory, everything is part of their culture. ठीक है, ये अब बुरा लगता है हमारे को, लेकिन उनके लिए सही है, उनके लिए वही जिंदगी है. They live in fear, they live in constant danger, and they always want to protect themselves. So what is sorcery? It's something like black magic. What is white magic? We've even spoken in when we spoke about Fraser. Correct? White magic has a potential to do good to the society. Something like when you mimic the thunderstorms sound, when these the Santal, the Oravan, all these people, Munda, etc., the Gonds, the Central Indian tribes, when they have some deficient rainfall, and in order to get the rainfall, they go on to the top of the hills, and from the hills they push certain big boulders. The boulders come down, rolling down the hills, and they make a rumbling sound, mimicking the rain. Some people even do rain dance. Some Indian people do the rain dance. ये सब क्या है? So to get the rain, they want to symbolize, mimic, that is like produces like. It is based on the white magic. Usually it is in the form of like produces like. That is something like a imitation magic. Okay, or homeopathic magic. There is another magic called contagious magic or idiopathic magic. Contagious magic is nothing but the black magic, and it relies on the principle of once in contact, always in contact. Because that effigy or small doll made of cloth, that cloth कहाँ से आए हैं? अंदर कुछ और चीजें डालते हैं, कॉटन वगैरह, ऊपर से एक छोटा टुकड़ा पहनाते हैं उसका, कपड़े का टुकड़ा. जो कपड़ा किसका है भाई? ये तुम्हारा. That it is believed that What is the main idea in this sorcery? Once in contact, always in contact. The principle of continuity. That means that I wear this shirt, and this shirt will have some of my body particles. Okay, if somebody can steal my shirt and उसको एक छोटा सा एक मूर्ति बना के उसको पहनाता है और नीडल से पोक करो उसको मार दो, I'll die. Right? People believe like this so stupidly, even in today's life. Even every now and then you see in the newspapers, एक बार पहले ही या 2-3 सेकंड या थर्ड पेज में न्यूज आती है, क्राइम न्यूज में आता है that so and so in that village in Maharashtra or Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, everywhere, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, in every part of India, like dozens and dozens of incidents are happening in which these witches are killed, sorcerers are killed. Mostly witchcraft बोलते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं witch hunt. There is something called as witch hunt. कौन है ये culprit? Who is this fellow or this family? एक एक बार मियाँ बीवी दोनों को पकड़ के मार देते हैं. Both you fellows are your witches, especially the people who come new to the society. Sometimes to show to pay back some rivalry issues, factionalism, उसका what you call दुश्मनी निकालने के लिए, then they will attack them and kill them. But otherwise, they believe in these kinds of once in contact, always in contact. Even nails, yeah, nails, our body nails and feces. Some people even take this; they don't mind. All this feces क्या है? हम लोग टॉयलेट को जाते हैं, पॉटी को जाते हैं. That feces were once just earlier. They were part of our body. हमारे body से बाहर आए हैं. So that is also tool to befall or bring about the harm to you. ठीक है, ये होता है इनका तकनीक. एंड ऑफ कोर्स नेल्स, हमारे बड़े लोग बोलते हैं ना, यू जस्ट डोंट थ्रो नेल्स जस्ट लाइक दैट इन द हाउस स्पेशली. You neatly pack them and throw them away. Why nails are all to, why our elders tell like that? Because nails may be picked up by the black magicians and do. Matlab, this is some kind of a survival, which kind of a belief is coming since generations. Even civilized people believe. And people do this evil nazar utarna, ऐसा ऐसा करते हैं. They take some rock salt or black salt, ऐसा कुछ करते हैं ना. मेरी बीवी करती है, मेरी mother used to do whenever we feel some body pains or fever. अरे रे तुम अच्छा फील नहीं कर रहे बैठो, and they do all this nazar utarna करते हैं ना. Our elderly people, our mothers, grandmothers, aunts, especially ladies लोग, women are experts in this. Men are simply the followers. नजर उतारते, नींबू का करते हैं, कुमकुम का करते हैं. They take rock salt. They do coal. हाँ, मस्टर्ड के साथ करते हैं, चिल्लीज करते हैं, या चिल्लीज निकालते हैं, करते हैं. They take the black sorry कोयला, कोल का भी करते हैं. कोयला it seems man it's very powerful नशा, सॉरी नजर उतारने वाला है. बिकॉज नजर बहुत तेजी चीज होती है, तीखी चीज, एंड इट इज वेरी डिस्ट्रक्टिव वन. इट कैन ब्रिंग हार्म टू द पर्सन. अच्छा खासा आदमी, सडनली that person starts crumbling. And these are the belief systems we have, which you can see in these simple primitive societies even today. And we are talking about civilization. Now where is the 100% civilization? Even among the western fellows, if someone feels possessed, पूरा family अपना movies देखते हैं ना, Hollywood movies, when they go to the doctor, psychologist, they can't get the answer, they call the exorcist. भूतनाथ, भूत वैद्य को बुलाता है. सुबह भी हमने नोट किया what is exorcist. Then that usually a church father or some priest comes and he wears a cross. ये देखो तो भूत इधर आती है, he shows the word of the, ऐसा चलो भाग पीछे जाते रहता है. And that fellow goes forward, the booth is going back and back. पूरा मजाक मजाक लगता है, लेकिन मेरे को I don't believe in all this, so I feel these are all like लेकिन these are all true for the people who live in these societies. Okay, now are you getting clarity on this witchcraft and sorcery? Sorcery is practiced in secret places, and it needs certain items, some paraphernalia, पूरा सरंजामा सामान उसको मांगता है. लेकिन witchcraft does not require anything. And sorcerers learn this magic very secretly, very well. Less people know about that, and they practice all this in secrecy. Witchcraft, just like that, sitting यहाँ बैठे हो, हम दूसरे का तुम विनाश चाहते हो जाता है. बैठे बैठे हो जाता है. So that is how these differ in both range and depths. Now you can just copy this. On the left hand side you have witchcraft, and on the right hand side you have the sorcery. It is inherited ability of a person to cause harm to others, and um, of a person to cause harm to others. You just write on the top, right hand वाला क्या है, left hand वाला witchcraft है, right hand वाला sorcery है. Sorcery techniques are acquired and not gifted. अच्छा, you please write that. Sorcery में लिखो right side में, sorcery techniques are acquired, are acquired and not gifted. So बाकी सब clear है. Okay, just copy it down. Okay, completed. So we have another slide similar to this. Some more points about witch and sorcerer. So both want to, in fact, bring harm to the society and untimely death. Suddenly some people die in a society. Untimely, mysterious. उनको कुछ पता नहीं रहता है. They don't suspect any viral death, और हमारे जैसे सोचते नहीं हो लोग. Some disease आए हैं, some infection might have come, some stroke might have come. They don't know about all that. So when somebody mysterious suddenly dies, it is mysterious death, and these mysterious deaths are brought about by the people. Who are these people? Some people who voluntarily do it, like sorcerers, or people who involuntarily do it without their even उतना ज्यादा भी उन लोग सोच नहीं. The moment they just like enter into that domain, the person is gone. उतना बुरे चीज होते हो लोग, उतने बुरे लोग होते हैं. It's like disastrous, whatever they do. Okay, so I'm going to the next one. So witch and sorcerer are believed to be causing untimely deaths. Okay, so you can see the comparative chart there. So witches, or witch is singular, witches are plural. So they are like they have antisocial characters or behaviors. They may practice cannibalism also, or incest, in order to enhance their powers, and they show deep sense of greed, jealousy, and hatred. Like exactly यही characteristics अपना वो मूवी में हम लोग देखते हैं. कौन है दोनों two sisters are given very interesting names. Forget that. Hatred, and a woman in a new, usually it is a woman among the Nupe of the Africa, and among the Gwari, a neighbor can be a man or a woman, which a neighbor can be that is, the witch can be a man or a woman, and that fellow can be a neighbor also, we don't know. Witch's power is internal and inherited, as we have noted. लेकिन sorcerers का क्या है? They use external power to harm others. He is a magician as well, an evil figure. He is internally evil that works for illegal and antisocial ends. And some ailments are attributed to sorcery, such as Kuru in the Foray Islands of New Guinea. Foray Islands hai wo. So the people have a very interesting practice there, very gruesome practice. They dig out the corpses जो मरा हुआ आदमी लोगों का लाश. They will dig out, and they break the skull, take the brain out, and they give the brain for eating to the pregnant women. What is the belief? The dead man's soul is still there. I think they take the time of about 4 days or 10 days. जो भी होता है ना, एक पीरियड होता है, इवन अमंग द हिंदूज इट इज अ बिलीफ 10th डे तक the family members should stay together. They cannot touch others because the spirit of the person recently dead is hovering around the relatives. ओ मतलब क्यों ये बिलीफ है, कभी सोचा आप लोग? जल्दी बताओ. आई विल कम टू कुरु अगेन. You just answer me. Why do you think people believe that, and they believe 100% true, that the dead person's spirit or soul is hovering in that house? उनका घर में ही कहीं कोने में बैठ मतलब मैं डरावनी चीज नहीं बात करना चाहता है. पीपल में गेट लाइक सम स्टूडेंट्स में गेट इवन दिस, डर जाते हैं. मैं तो अजीब व गरीब आदमी हूँ, मतलब मेरे को तो कोई फीलिंग वगैरह नहीं है, लेकिन देर आर सम सेंसिटिव पीपल हु माइट फील इट बैड. सो क्या होता है इधर, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंस हियर इज, व्हाई यू हवंट आंसर्ड. द आंसर इज, ट्राई करोगे? द डेड मैन is full of desires, no? Bandhan bolte hain. So we are all bonded to our relatives, our sons, daughters, wife, I mean father, mother, or brother, sister. These are so fond of their relatives, especially nuclear family members. मरा हुआ आदमी जल्दी जा नहीं सकता, उसका रूप चेंज हो गया हो, स्पिरिट्स या अनरेस्ट सिचुएशन क्यों है भाई? बिकॉज ऑफ अनफुलफिल्ड डिजायर. अरे सडनली आई एम डाइंग, डू आई हैव टू लीव दिस पीपल? हाउ कैन आई लीव देम? अभी तक तो जिंदा हूं, इधर ही मतलब फिरा हूं, अभी तक खेला कूदा हूं. आई एम लाइक आई एम हैविंग, आई हैड अ वंडरफुल टाइम विद देम. I've been like in and out with them, like I'm so deeply engrossed in their lives. I'm part and parcel of their lives. We and they are not separate. We are one. हम ऐसा अलग कैसे हो सकते हैं? How can, like they can't digest this fact? According to belief system, and I'm saying according to every religion, more or less, has this kind of a thinking that the atma or that soul cannot leave these relatives, even if they are buried or cremated, because there is a belief again in even in paper 2 I have discussed all this. According to karma siddhanta, according to all this jivatma paramatma concepts, the body is perishable, not the atma. That is a concept. See, how can Atma be there if one is burying them deep inside the soil or completely cremate them, burn the corpse? So किसको जला रहे हो भाई तुम लोग? केवल शरीर को जला रहे हो, आत्मा को नहीं. Because आत्मा क्या बोल रहे कृष्ण भगवान? आत्मा cannot be what we call according to our philosophy. Atma cannot be dampened, the spirit cannot be dampened, the spirit cannot be touched, the spirit cannot be, it cannot catch fire. And you cannot actually understand what exactly is that spirits. Though our Tyler Saab called it as it has 1/10 of the size of some thin vapor like white substance which escapes the body after the death. So whatever is the belief, whether in among the primitives or the civilized people, among the Hindus or non-Hindus, that there is life after death. Even these people of New Guinea, the tribes in New Guinea, even this was all before the British, not after the British came and civilized them and banned all these practices. So what they were doing, they used to take out the brain of the dead people and give it as a food to the pregnant women. वो brain को खाना पड़ता है, and they used to eat it. What is the belief? The life is there, that life force, that whatever force you are talking about, because the atma cannot leave their relatives and go away. At least that atma will stay with them, and the dead man will be born again in the family. ये तो वे क्यों आया है? Again genetics, inheritance of our features. You see, our features are inherited by our children. So we are resembling our parents. ये सब काई को आ रहा है? Because of this, all this. They believed the theory of this spirits. Correct. So they continue to live on. So it is good for the pregnant women because a child that is going to be born will be benefited from the life force of the dead man. Still, that life is there in the dead man's skull. Sorry, that brain. So that life force will enter into the baby that is going to be born. इसीलिए वो लोग खाते थे. So समझ में आया? And unfortunately, they never knew all this. That the fact of the matter is there is a virus that is present in those kinds of people, and that virus slowly goes to the brain. मतलब बच्चे को, especially the kids who are born, मतलब वो खाने के बाद, when they take births, when they are growing, they will grow like they undergo horrible kind of scenarios. The virus will go into their head. They get like ऐसा हो जाते हैं उनके हाथ ऐसा, they have this distorted mouth, ये सब like completely that virus destroys their body, eventually leading to deaths. That disease is called Kuru disease. This has been solved by the help of anthropologists. Anthropologists also entered the scene. They also, along with British people, British governments in the New Guinea, help of foreigners, they have educated them, made them aware of one by one, slowly, gradually, they have stopped this practice. ठीक है. So इतना डेप्थ है ये पॉइंट में. So sorcerers do all these kind of things, like cannibalism, because of all that. Well, so these are your major differences between them. Please note them down fast. So once you note, we will go forward, and I think only 1 or 2 slides are left. We'll be done with them in a while, and we'll call it a session, and we'll begin a new chapter tomorrow morning. Okay, done. So, which doctor is more or less like, he is also another fact, something like a shaman, though it is not there in the syllabus. But which doctor is a positive fellow, something like a shaman? He, even someone like shamans and priests also, and witch doctors, they help the evil spirit. They will like क्या बोलते हैं, रिपल्शन करते हैं उसको, लाइक वापस मारते हैं. अगर फुल फोर्स आए बॉल, सिक्सर मारते हैं ना, समथिंग लाइक दैट. द अदर फेलो इज डूइंग द मैजिकल स्पेल, एंड दिस फेलोज आर रिपेलिंग दैट स्पेल. पहले उसको ही ऐसा डाल कर देते हैं, लाइक दे शो इन द मूवीज. ऐसा एक फोर्स आता है यहाँ, व्हाट इज दैट, पोकेमॉन वोकेमॉन बिजनेस, ऐसा करते हैं. देन दैट फेलो आल्सो इज लाइक हर्ट, the opponent is hurt. And many societies have witch doctors like shamans, more or less same. So these people come under the positive domain, and they help people save their lives by repelling the negative effects of black magic and witchcraft. So okay, ठीक है, ये सब बहुत simple idea है. And we have got some PYQs here. Shamanism 2007 में पूछा गया है. 2005 long question. Witchcraft accusation is a result of strained interpersonal relations. Like this is very long. As already I've told you, some people have interpersonal relations which got strained. बदला लेना चाहते हैं, दुश्मनी है, and they will all do this. It's a very big. ये सब लिखना है. Whatever I have discussed, that will become the matter of this. Without any proof, without any evidence, as far as IPC, CRPC, CPC, sorry, IPC, CPC are concerned, they are crimes. One cannot resort to witchcraft and sorcery. So the codified law does not have place for witchcraft and sorcery, like from the criminal angle. And what angle? They cannot arrest any witch or sorcerer, but they can always arrest people who have killed or harmed the people in the name of that these fellows are practicing witchcraft and sorcery. उनको जाके पकड़ के जेल में डाल देते हैं. So that is from this angle also you have to write civilized people, codified law, in spite of anthropological examples of how people make it a part of their life. And what role do the wife witchcraft and sorcery or jaisa, you can draw a comparative table and write. Okay. And what is the last question there? Um, What role do religious functionaries perform play in simple and non-literate societies? Okay, so something like you can talk about Evans Pritchard's work among Azande witchcrafts. In his book, Witchcraft, Oracles, and Magic Among the Azande. So, this man has done a wonderful work in detail among the Azande of Africa, where they use the magic to harm others or manipulate nature. In fact, ये सब magic में ही आता है. Of course, whether you call mostly black magic only, where you manipulate certain objects like spirits. Spirits are asked to come down. Chanda, ये आजा, ये come here, sit. I want to do things with you करके उसको evil spirit को control करता है. So they not like religion in which or a priest who supplicates, submits, completely bows down in reverence to the gods and goddesses. Here, instead of threatening them, instead of bowing down to the spirits, he threatens them. So the magician or the sorcerer actually tries to threaten them. उसको लेके आके पकड़ के इधर लेके आता है उसको, then he will direct that fellow to ward to actually bring about harm to the others. Okay, so you got this idea. ठीक है, so ये सब हो गया. Even these witches are responsible for the failure of crops, and when pregnancies fail, abortions happen. ये जो भी नेगेटिव चीजें हो रही है हमारे समाज में, they think that they are because of witchcraft. And witch doctors job is to find that witch. Witch hunt बोलते हैं ना, WITCH, witch hunt. So the witch doctors and oracles, oracle बोल के एक lady रहती है. Have you seen these movies? Like certain times English movies, Hollywood movies also show them. One woman, especially the Conan the Barbarian करके एक रहती है movie. Have you seen that Conan the Barbarian? That our Arnold Schwarzenegger is a big fighter, barbarian, and there is a woman who is always like comes in contact with him. पहले दोनों को जमती नहीं, लेकिन both of them come together in the final analysis and beat the kings and others. जो kingdom में आने नहीं देते हैं. So this fellow goes takes the help of the lady oracle. Oracle मतलब the one who can see things. वहां क्या हो रहा है उधर, ऐसा होने वाला है करके एक फॉर्चून बोलती है. These oracles can find out who the witch is. Witch doctors also do the same thing. They repel, they ward off the evil. ये सब होता है. हाँ, जो ओराकल करके अब बहुत मूवीज में भी रहता है. सम इवन आई थिंक दीस डेज इन कार्टून्स एंड एनिमेस उसमें भी आ रहे हैं. पता नहीं, मेरे को तो नहीं मालूम. बट ओराकल्स have the power to foresee things. वो कुछ ऐसा है क्रिएट करते हैं कांच का जैसा. They do this kind of, they put a glass ball something like that. हाँ, ग्रीक ऑरेकल्स ग्लास ऐसा डाल के उसमें they see, ऐसा उसको दिखता है आधा सा पिक्चर. एटलीस्ट इन हाफ विल सी नो. अरे मूवीज नहीं देखे क्या? आई डोंट रिमेम्बर एग्जैक्टली, कोई मूवी है लेकिन दे शो दिस नो. द वुमन और दैट मैन इज क्रिएटिंग सम काइंड ऑफ वाटर. वो पानी में भी देख सकते हैं, पिक्चर हमको दिखाते हैं ऐसा. दैट दे आर गोइंग लाइक इन दैट, द हॉर्स इज देयर. नहीं तो आगे एक बड़ा सा किंग तुम्हारे ऊपर आ रहा है, अटैक करने आ रहा है. हैरी पॉटर, हाँ, समथिंग लाइक Harry Potters and all that. So they can see the things in advance. So these are your religious functionaries or magico-religious functionaries, including priests, shamans, medicine men, witches, and sorcerers, plus also our witch doctors. ठीक है, fine then. We'll call it a good night and thank you.